Welcome to Week 10 of Introduction to Algebra with Mrs. Weibark. This week's topics are the coordinate plane and slope. There are 6 pages of notes for this week's video. Please pause your screen as needed to record these notes. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. And the last, page 6. Our first topic is the coordinate plane. The coordinate plane is a two-dimensional plane containing the x and y axes. The x-axis is the horizontal number line and the y-axis is the vertical number line. These two axes intersect at the point 0, 0, which we call the origin. Together, these two number lines divide the coordinate plane into 4 areas that we call quadrants. The first quadrant is in the upper right-hand corner, and we name them as though we are drawing the letter C. So second quadrant, third quadrant, and fourth quadrant. An ordered pair is a set of numbers or coordinates used to locate any point on the coordinate plane. We always write ordered pairs as x and y. We write x first and y second. When graphing a point, x indicates the distance left or right from the origin, and y indicates the distance up or down from the origin. Slope is used to describe the steepness of a line. Using any 2 points on a line, the slope m of a line is the ratio of the vertical change in distance to the horizontal change in distance. It can be calculated as the change in y value divided by the change in x value. You will sometimes see this as delta y over delta x. Delta is the triangle symbol, and in science it is used to mean change. You will also see m, or slope, written as y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We use this formula for slope when we are given 2 points. In order to remember slope, you can use the slope song. It goes like this. Slope is the rise over the run, the distance up or down, divided by the distance side to side. You can sing along with me. Slope is the rise over the run, the distance up or down, divided by the distance side to side. There are 4 types of slope: positive, negative, zero, and undefined. A positive slope occurs when the slope of a line is a positive number, so m is positive. The larger the number, the steeper the line. A line with a positive slope is usually described as increasing when we look at it from left to right, uphill, or we say the line is going up. Negative slope means that the slope of the line is a negative number, so m is negative. And the smaller the number, the steeper the line. A line with a negative slope is described as decreasing when it is read from left to right. It goes downhill or is said to be going down. Sometimes the slope is 0. This occurs when we have a horizontal line. M, or slope, is 0 because the rise is 0 and the run is some number that represents a distance along the horizontal line. 0 divided by any number is always 0, so the slope is 0, and we say that this line is perfectly flat. Sometimes slope is actually undefined. That means there is no number to describe the slope, and this happens when we have a vertical line. The rise is a number that represents a distance up this vertical line, but the run, the distance side to side, is 0. And remember that any number divided by 0 is undefined. It is mathematically impossible to divide a number by 0. So therefore the slope is undefined. We say that this line is straight up and down. There are 3 ways to find slope: from 2 points, from a graph, and from an equation. If I am given 2 points, I let the first point be x1, y1, and the second point be x2, y2. Remember, these 1s and 2s are subscripts, not exponents. They simply mean that we have 2 different x values, and we need to keep track of which one is which. We also have 2 different y values, so we call one of them y1 and one of them y2. So we use the slope formula y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. In this example, we are given the points 3, 5 and 9, 2. Since our first point is 3, 5, x1 is 3 and y1 is 5, our second point tells us that x2 is 9 and y2 is 2. So we plug in y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1, and we simplify to get negative 3 over 6. This fraction can be further simplified to negative 1 over 2, which means that our slope is negative 1/2. We can also find the slope of a line by looking at the graph. We can find any 2 points on the line and determine the rise and the run. In looking at this first graph, if I have a point down here, I could measure the rise and then measure the run to the second point, and rise over run would give me the slope. Similarly, if I knew what the points were, x1, y1, and x2, y2, I could also use the slope formula, or I could find the rise straight up from the first point to become level with the second point, and then the run to the right to find the horizontal distance, to get rise over run. In this example, I could use any 2 points on this line. I chose the 2 that are darkened here. To move from this first point on the left to my next point, I have to make a vertical rise of 3 units and a horizontal run of 2 units. Therefore, my slope is 3 over 2, or 3/2. I can also find the slope from a linear equation. We like to use the slope-intercept form of linear equations, which is y equals mx plus b, in which x and y are a point on the line, and m is the slope. B in this equation represents the y-intercept. So in this first example, if y equals 2x plus 5, 2 is the coefficient of x. Therefore, the slope is 2. In the second example, y equals 2/3 x minus 4. The coefficient of x is 2/3, and therefore the slope is 2/3. And in this last example, I have y equals x. The coefficient is not written here because when we have only one x, we don't write the coefficient. However, that means the slope is 1. Thank you for watching this YBARC production.